Hello everyone and welcome back into our AWS series. Today I'm just going to go through a quick demo of the AWS CloudFront that we had seen earlier. And in this demo, I'm just going to go ahead and show you that how we can use the CloudFront to deliver some of our dynamic content. And we will be doing a live streaming using Apple's proprietary HTTP HLS protocol or HTTP live streaming protocol. I will be using my iPhone later on to play the live streaming on my iOS device. I'm running this demo on a Windows PC, so I may not be able to share that over browser, but hopefully you will get a good idea about some of the offerings, that you can do with the AWS services and how you can stream some of your live content. So as I said, I'll be using the HLS and we'll be doing that stream into different bit rates. So that's why we call them multi-bit rate. So depending on device, they adapt. So the cool thing that we'll be using for this demo, we'll be making use of the Amazon's Elastic Transcoder. So hopefully you guys are familiar with the transcoder, basically that transcode from one format to the another. That's the whole idea. So the Elastic Transcoder is a media transcoding, which is again in the cloud. And again, it's highly scalable, easy to use, and cost effective. So you can transcode, basically convert your media files from one format to the another, or to suit a different devices. That's all pretty much will be the whole idea around this one. And thanks to Amazon again, I'll be using I'm using their infrastructure and some of the sample files for this demo. Nothing especially that I had prepared from my side. So let's go back and look at the S3 here. So inside the S3, we have a sample video file that we'll be streaming later on. So let's go back and have a quick look here. And that's the folder that we are using here. And in this folder, we have an input directory or subfolder. And here is our file that I'll be using. It's a 22.4 MB file. It's in MP4 format right now. So now let's go ahead and make a note of this whole link. So I'm going to go ahead and make a note that on my notepad quickly, guys, and give me a second. That's the name of my file. Okay, and that's all pretty much. Now, as we said, we'll be using the CloudFront to deliver this content. So that way we are making use of the edge location to deliver the content faster and some of the other things. So hopefully you get the whole idea. And I'm just going to copy this URL also, guys, just for my reference, and we will be using this later on. Now let's go back to the under services. We go back to the CloudFront here. So see CloudFront, and hopefully you guys remember from our last demos. So go ahead and click a distribution, and under the distribution, just go ahead and click on web. We're not doing Adobe, so let's go ahead and click in the origin name. We'll go ahead and select our S3 bucket where we are hosting. So that's where we have our stuff, and I'm not changing any of those things. We are not accessing the bucket directly, restrict bucket access and all, so we're not making any other change. And technically I'm leaving rest of the settings to their default. I'm not making a change with the TTL, caching methods, or really anything, any price class. All the things are pretty much remain same. So we'll just go ahead and click create a distribution, and again, you remember that could take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll leave that and we'll hop on to our transcoder. So that's the important part of this configuration that we need to do. So let's go back to AWS. Let me go back here under the services, and we need to find out the Elastic Transcoder. So under application services, we have an Elastic Transcoder that says easy to use scalable media transcoding. That's the whole idea. So let's go ahead and click on the Elastic Transcoders, guys. And you can see, okay, little launch. So it says, okay, there is nothing else. We're getting the default welcome to Amazon Elastic Transcoder. Transcoder lets you convert digital media stored in S3 into the audio and video codec, and the container required by consumer playback device is different. So this is something you guys need to remember that within the Elastic Transfer, there are three components. We have pipeline, we have jobs, and we have presets. So pipelines are queue that manage your transcoding job basically. Each transcoder or Elastic Transcoder begins to process jobs in the order in which you add them to a pipeline. Jobs specify the setting that aren't included in the preset, for example, the file to transcode and whether to create thumbnails and some of the other things. Presets are simply the template that you specify most of the settings for the transcoded media file. So guys, now let's go ahead and create a pipeline. First, so go ahead and click on create a pipeline here. And in the input pipeline name, uh, we can go ahead and enter a pipeline name. We can call it, just call it maybe input pipeline. Okay, and the input bucket for this one, we are using our this S3 bucket we are holding, and we'll just go ahead and create a custom role for this one. So that way we are allowed the Elastic Transcoder to do read and writing to the above S3 bucket. And now inside the uh, configuration or Amazon S3 bucket for transcoded playback file. So under the bucket, we'll go ahead and select our same bucket. We'll store our transcoded files into the same bucket that we are using for input. And under the storage class, so we'll stick with the standard class, and we can have a reduced storage. So we'll go ahead and keep the standard. Hopefully you remember that from our S3. The next section says the configuration for Amazon S3 bucket for thumbnails. Again, for the thumbnails, we'll use the same bucket to store our stuff. And storage class, as usual, we'll go ahead and click a standard. Notification, hopefully you guys remember, same thing we have been talking multiple times. You can even enable encryption, which is optional. AWS KMS, key management system. So we are leaving that to default. And let's go ahead and create a pipeline. So guys, a pipeline is very simple. You just give a name. You said this is my input bucket. Your thumbnails, and what kind of storage class. So that's all pretty much. And go ahead and create a pipeline, guys. It'll take a couple of seconds. Once the pipeline is created, we'll just go ahead and simply create a job. And as you can see, our pipeline is already active. There's the name, configuration. You can see it's going to store where and some of the details that you can go ahead and edit, pause, remove. So then now the next thing we can have to go and create a job here. So we'll create a job, under the Elastic Transcoder. So the job does the work of transcoding the input file into multiple bit rates. So that's the whole idea. That's why we use job. So we'll specify input file so that can convert into multiple stuff. So in the pipeline, let's go ahead and select our input pipeline. In the input field, we need to, this the folder automatically shows, okay, that's the path. So we'll go ahead and select that. And that's on the output. We'll go ahead and create a new folder. We'll call it output slash guys. That's all. And now there are a few things. So output details one of one, guys. So the settings in this section basically, they're going to determine how many output and what bit rate are going to get created. That's the whole idea. We can configure 3 output files. So for this demo, we'll be creating again 3 files, one at 2 Mbps, one is 1.5 Mbps, another is 1 Mbps. And again, we can create at the lower rates also pretty much. So now let's go ahead, and there are some pre-configured bit rates or presets that we call them. So now let's go ahead and we'll create an HLS at 2 MB. Segment duration, guys, again, leave blank to create a single unsegmented output file if you want to generate a series of segments. So it's good to create segments. So instead of loading one full file, so I will go ahead and create 10 segments, and we're not making any other change. So this looks good, and we are not creating any output keys here, guys. Okay, we'll store with this name of same HLS, maybe yeah, 2MB. Okay, this is the segment preview file name. Uh, if we want to create a thumbnail, we can say yes or no. Let's do a thumbnail also. We'll go ahead and create a thumbnail. Or let's we'll stick without thumbnail for the time being, and we'll leave rest of the settings to default. So this looks good, and we're not changing watermark or anything here. Now let's go ahead and add another one out type of output. So we just configure one with 2MB. Let's go ahead and configure another one, maybe HLS 1.5 MB here. Same 10 durations output, we can call HLS 1.5 M, guys. And let's go ahead and add another output. What we can do here, probably, let me just think here. Uh, we can do here. Okay, I'll create a web here. Okay, guys. Or how about maybe a generic? Uh, okay, a 480p output we can call it. Gen- so 480.mp4. That's what we go ahead and create. And that's all. These are the now. The next thing is adaptive streaming, guys. So under, we'll go ahead and click on add a playlist. We can go ahead and if you choose a preset for which the value of the container, we can go ahead and create a playlist. So go ahead and click on add a playlist, and we'll call it a master as our playlist. We can go ahead and specify the format HLS v3 v4. So we're creating a v3, and so we'll go ahead and add this one, we'll add another one, and there's we'll add another one. So we go ahead and select all of the um, playlist part of our master playlist, and hopefully that looks good. We can go ahead and configure some metadata, some override detected input parameters. Again, everything is optional here. So let's go back and quickly look here. We are creating transcoding job. This is the name, this is the source file. We can store output here, and these are the different format that we want this input to be converted. HLS 2MB 10 segment, that's the output key. One is 1.5, or let me just drop this 1.5 to maybe 400K, guys. I'm just gonna drop it to 400K. Okay, 400 instead of MB. Let's a K here, and I'll make sure that we're gonna have the correct file here again. Okay, everything looks good, and that was pretty much. Just simply go ahead and click on create new job. What it says, output must have a segment duration. Okay, I think I must do type 2 segment duration, guys. Mm, let's go ahead and add another latest guys here. Master one. I will change this type maybe to HLS, maybe 160 number of duration. HLS 160K guys here. And let's go ahead and add another one which is HLS 160K. And let's go ahead and create this job. So 2M, okay, HLS video 400K. I'm sorry, I selected audio guys. I wanted to select a video. Let's change it to then HLS 600K. Okay, we'll call HLS 600K video. And let's go ahead and select that one, HLS 600K. Let's go ahead and create the must not include video only present in conjunction with audio service. Ah, 2M guys, okay. Let me do something here. I'm using a HLS 2M preset, so we go ahead and change it to 1.5. And hopefully that should fix the problem. Let's go ahead and okay guys, let me just see what's going on here. It's giving me the error here. Must not include video only present with condition audio. Why it says okay. 2M. Okay guys, my mistake. I have to select not the video only because this includes both audio and video. So HLS 1.5 and the HLS 1. Okay, hopefully this time should be good. Let's go ahead and create a job. Once the job is done, let's go ahead and look at okay, these are some of the settings it shows detected, some of the detected setting, and you can say the status shows right now. Progressing, same thing, progressing, progressing. Overall, it's not progressing right now. Time in queue, transcoding time, and some of the other things. Now let's go back while the stuff is running here, guys. Now let's go back here and look at our CloudFront. Is it ready? Is it deployed? Okay. So guys, this is the CloudFront URL. Hopefully you remember from our distribution settings and all. Now let's go back here. Let's go back to our S3 bucket here. And give me a second here. So let's go inside our bucket here. Okay, these are the input and so let's go ahead and click on output, and you can see these are the different segments uh, created for different bit rates. Let me put that way. Go back to your URL. Okay, now let's go back to the CloudFront again quickly, and let's select our distribution setting, and take the domain name here, guys. And okay, it does not appear to have any information or anything associated. And if we go back here quickly, let me just show you one more thing in the S3. Under S3, if we go back to, and look for the name here, H, guys, okay. Okay, here is our master playlist. So if you click on this master playlist, guys, so this master.m3u8, and it's inside our output folder. So our URL will look like this: CloudFront followed by output slash master.m3u8. This is the URL that we need to access from our iOS device. So let me look here one thing before I try that on my side. I'll go to the Elastic Transcoder here quickly. Click on the Elastic Transcoder, guys, here, and look at the jobs. Search for your existing jobs or presets. It's going to show you some of the existing information. Now let's get in, this shows active. So I will go back to the right now I'm opening that URL that I shared with you guys. Let me just open that URL. I'm just thinking the best way. Okay, I don't want to type this URL, guys. But let me just show you what's going to happen, because this format actually is not supported by Firefox. If I type in the Firefox, it just tries to open that file. I can open that one. Let me go ahead and share mine. Let's see if I can show you guys a little better in the Chrome. Same thing, Chrome is doing a download for me too. I don't want to download this one. So you can see I try to open that URL and it's trying to launch some of the files. So let's go ahead and click close, click cancel. I'm going to go ahead and use this URL inside my iOS. So give me a sec. Okay, let me just go ahead and type it. Hopefully I don't make a mistake here. So I'm typing D205 IE 52 XW Z0 DP dot cloudfront.net slash output slash master.m3u8, guys, and let me go ahead and click OK. Okay, and on my iOS device, I am able to I'm able to access my URL here, guys. Let me go ahead and share my camera with you guys. Hopefully, so let me just see if I can show you. Okay. And I'm sharing right now my URL, my camera, so I can go ahead and play this bit stream. And you can see this is the video getting played, and we are doing a live streaming. So hopefully you get the idea. So that's the whole idea, guys. Hopefully you got a good idea around the Amazon's transcoding in the web. That was pretty much for this demo. Hopefully you got to learn something new. I know there was no theoretical portion or anything involved. It was a quick demo I put together. Again, thanks to Amazon, and thank you guys. I'll see you some other time into a different lab. Thanks. Bye-bye.